Right, I will then start a screen share here. Here we go. And just go right here to the presentation. But before we jump in, of course, you're at the right place. Here, make sure you find that chat box and say hello. That is the best place that I can hear you. And it truly is where I customize everything that I do. So I do want to hear your questions because if you're more e-commerce based, then there might be something. Hello, Jordan. Hello, welcome. You might have other questions that are, more focused on e-commerce. If you're more service based, like a lot of the industry. So I work with e-commerce and also a lot of service businesses where it's more immediate, so they're dealing more with phone calls as opposed to people leaving off their information in contact forms. So do find that chat box. E-commerce meets, haha, yes, wonderful, perfect. I've been in international e-commerce, Jordan, for 15 plus years, and actually expanded. So I'm used to setting aside the distribution, everything that's involved in shipping, fulfillment, drayage, all of that. So I'm very, very familiar with that, plus market distribution, right? So I hope I'll be helpful to you today, and feel free to use that chat box if you have any questions, because I do customize this for everybody that is here, and I'm excited that you're here. So just use that chat box. If you do want a copy of today's slides and the handout, you just have to go here to bit.ly/Google Maria. So I'll drop that again in the chat box too, just in case you want to click on it. And you may be on your phone and you just want to tap on this and not have to worry about trying to screenshot it, then you can do that. And you'll have an actual copy of the slides, the handout, and actually a yearly metrics document that I have in there for you too that will be very helpful. Jordan, you'll really want to take a look at this because when you look at the yearly documents, let me see if I've got those up to show you. Uh, I do, but I have a slide covering it. So hold on just a second. I'm going to go to, let's just well, actually, I'm going to make it bigger before I do this and go to a live demo. So hold on just a moment. So in a live demo, you'll see that when you get there, you will get a copy of the handout. You'll get the presentation that I'm doing, so the actual slides that I'm doing, and then you'll see the Google Analytics 4 reports. And when you look at the reports, you can click on each of these and it tells you exactly how to set up those reports within Google Analytics 4, which is what Google's using right now to measure what you're doing and what people are doing on the site, so you can be an expert at what you actually do. But this will be helpful to you because these reports are already built in. Okay, so that's into that link there. Let me go back to the presentation and get out of this. Just takes a couple of minutes because I do have to switch screens a bit. Always fun when you have a few screens up here. All right, let's talk about a year in review. If you want to learn anything Google, you'll just go to this URL that you see that's this way, that you see right here in the blue link. And then also, if you want to connect with me, you'll see that I have my contact information there on socials. You can get with me on Twitter, or X as it's called, at Maria Duran, or on Instagram at getfound.growth. So feel free to connect with me there. And if you want to use the hashtag grow with Google, I would love to showcase you to everybody on the Google team. But I truly do want to support you in what you're doing and knowing that you applied what you learned. So that is what I will focus on, is giving you high fives, shouting you out. So I'll shout you out in stories or retweets and reposts, depending on which platform you use. If you use both, great. I'll do it in both and get you a little bit more visibility. So you may want that, Jordan, especially e-commerce, right? It doesn't just have to be within the Nebraska area. You may ship everywhere. I'm curious to hear where you ship. Let me know in the chat box. All right. So today we're going to be talking about those metrics that matter, because we just finished 2023, and if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that's not getting you closer to your goal or lifting your bottom line is $1 or 1 minute spent too much. Now, I'm a big fan of all the socials. I'm on all the socials, but I do also ask businesses that hard question of, if you're on socials, what is the goal of that? Because what is it that you're measuring that really does matter to the bottom line or to getting you to your goal? Because a lot of times people will tell me, well, I want, 5 people to like this, or 500 people to like this. I would like to get, 1,000 followers. That's great, but what does that mean to the bottom line or to your goals? Because if your goals are to make money, which any small business that I'm in, they're looking at making money, right? Cash flow is king. And be it a service business, a brand, so you're a consultant, or it could be that you're an e-commerce company, we all want that cash flow and need that. That's how we sustain what we're doing and also become a valuable member of the community to being able to contribute even more so. So as we look at these metrics, a lot of times we are really confused, almost dazed and confused by looking at metrics like impressions. You know, how many impressions did we get? How many followers do we have? How many likes did we get? Now, when somebody comes to me and they say, Maria, I need at least 100 likes for this post. And the reason I do is because when I get 100 likes, and I do have within my Instagram profile, I've got the 4 links that I can use. And one of the links at the very top is to take them to my site and say, let's stay connected, because you never know when socials are going to go haywire. And I don't want to lose contact with you. And you don't want to lose contact with me, because I'm going to provide valuable information about this. Then when you can capture their email, if they can come to me and say, whenever I get 100 likes on a post, I get at least 25, maybe 50, let's say 50 people coming to the site. And of the 50 people coming to the site, 20 of them leave their email address. Now, that gets you closer to your bottom line, because again, if we lose track of socials, which everybody can. I was on there, Michael Stelzner with Social Media Examiner lost access to his Instagram and Facebook back when he was at 616,000 people. Just recently, Marketing Harry, I've loved to follow him. He has over 3 million followers, and he loves to promote Instagram. That's what he promotes, is Instagram classes and courses, and he lost access to his Instagram for almost 14 days, and he had to utilize other people to verify that he was real before he could come back on. It was very disheartening for him as somebody who promoted the platform. So now he's heavy into capturing people's email, because he said, if you lose that, you've lost contact with people. Think about that. If you didn't have that social platform, how would you make contact with them? So I do come to you with a small business background. So, I've been 20 plus years in small business from the grassroots up. I've earned the Texas Governor's Excellence in Small Business Award. If you've never been with me here before, I would love to know. If this is your first time, let me know in the chat box, and let me know a little bit about your business, because I do want to customize the analytics that we're looking here, because there's a lot of factoids out there, right? How many of you have attended the Making Better Business Decisions with Analytics? How many of you have attended that session at all, or reviewed that session on recording? I'd love to know, because there's lots of great factoids out there, and there are many things that are neat to know. So they're neat, but they're not need to know. We don't need to know those. So while I may not be a big fan of followers and impressions, I do look at click-through rate, conversion rate. I do look at all that, and understand you're going to hear me talk about conversion quite a bit, because I come from an e-commerce background, but it doesn't mean that it's all just sales and money. Conversion could be, if you're a nonprofit, that they become a volunteer or a sponsor or a referral source. So they introduce you to groups of people who could become volunteers or sponsors. So that could be a conversion. A conversion could be that they watch the video all the way through, because you've got a great call to action, great story, great testimonials there. So it could be all of those things. So as we look at data, there's a lot that's out there, and it does tell a story. You need to know exactly what story do you need to become and move forward with your business, to become the business that you want to be and become and have the growth that you need. So if you think of the marketing funnel, it starts first with awareness. How aware are people of you? Because if they don't know you exist, they cannot do business with you, right? And the same thing with a search engine. If it does not feel confident, it does not know that you're a real solid business, then you're not going to show up high in search. There has to be a confidence level there. And part of that confidence level actually leans into Google's algorithm, which is 3 pillars: relevance, distance, and prominence. Okay, so relevance, how well do you match what people are actually searching for? Distance, how far are you from them and what they're looking for? And then prominence is your quality score. How often do you update your website? Do you have any reviews? Have you responded to your reviews? Do you have video on your site? When did you update those? All of those are part of your prominence or your quality score. So this is your first time to call, and I'm co-owner. Perfect. Perfect. We have salsa and hot sauces. Do you sell them online? I'd love to know. Your e-commerce store or brick and mortar or both. Let me know in the comments there, because that's where I can start customizing things for you in the presentation. I've worked with everybody from service provider, personal brands, consultants, big brands. a lot of, a lot of e-commerce. I mean, everything from small items to larger ticket items. So, and everything in between, as well as international distribution. So you might need to know where they're coming from. Perhaps awareness is what you need to work on in the funnel, or it could be consideration. So people are aware of you. You've got great brand recognition, but they look around and you don't know that they really seriously consider you in their decision journey. So it might be that you really need to look and understand the process of consideration. And that means being an expert in your customer, understanding exactly what they need and what will help them and really support them. So they look at you as if you are the provider of that solution, be it a product or service. Then also it could be maybe you need to convert. So they've considered you, they know that they're aware of you, but you're not converting, you're not getting anything. So it could be not just that they need to consider you and build trust factors and feel that you're a credible source, even for a product or service. Nobody wants to put their money anywhere unless, or their time, because time is more valuable than money. They definitely don't want to do that until they know you're a credible source. None of us want to do business with somebody who was good back in the day or was good once upon a time. We want a very credible, cutting edge expert at what they do, be it a product or service. And then also loyalty. It could be that most of the customers that you have coming back are loyal customers. So as we look at this, we're going to take a deeper dive into Google Analytics. Everything that I'm talking about today, by the way, is 100% free. Whether you have a free personal Gmail or free Google account or the paid one. You don't have to have the paid one, but you have access to it with any free Google account, and a Gmail account is a Google account. So you can connect Google Analytics there, and when you connect Google Analytics, it now is watching the behavior of everyone on your site. And the reason you want to do that is, let's say you had a store, and let's say that people would come in. So you had a physical store, and all day long they came in and they went, or all morning long, they went from aisle 1 to aisle 3 and then they left. They never bought a thing. But then in the afternoon, they would come from aisle 1 to aisle 4 and aisle 3, and then they would buy. Now I have some questions. Is it people in the afternoon are more likely my customer? Is it something on aisle 4 that is encouraging them, or something on aisle 1 that's discouraging them? So I would like to know that. For a website, is it, something on page 1 or page 3 or page 4? Is it the people who log in the afternoon? Who is it? So you do sell at other stores. So you sell at other locations, and so you sell in actual physical locations. Thank you, Shelley, for letting me know that. Do you actually do any e-commerce sales? I'm curious if you do any of that too, because I know we've got Jordan in here with e-commerce too. So I just wanted to know if you were also in that same area or all physical stores. Let me know, okay? And then also what reports to look at utilizing Google Analytics search box. So how many of you use Google Analytics? And what reports do you look at in analytics? Let me know in the search box. And if you don't use analytics and you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay too. Let me know, because I do want to customize this for you. This is not just edutainment. This is meant to help you get a leg up on 2024 so that it's profitable for you. I'm here. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Jordan. See, that's what I love. Jordan is just being real here. We do some, but not as much as we like. Okay, all right. So, Shelly, do you do some e-commerce, or you use some Google Analytics? I'm sorry, I asked two questions back to back, and you may be typing furiously with your thumbs. So, just let me know. Okay. All right. We'll also talk about using Google's Analytics with ads, e-commerce. I got it. Thank you, Shelly. And then, of course, recap and Looker Studio. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right. So when we look at Google Analytics, this is a free tool. Jordan, I encourage you to connect it to your site. It's 100% free to do that. And now you can start making some decisions from your goals. For example, if one of your goals are to increase sales by 20% within quarter 1 of 2024, then how do you know that you've increased that other than just sales? What are the other factors that contribute to that would make that goal inevitable? Well, maybe you know you need to have so many site visitors, and maybe you need to know you need to have and move this many units or have people purchase this much poundage. Then you need to look at those things within what's happening in Google Analytics and see if you're giving them a good journey that matches their actual decision journey. So as you look at analytics, one of the most important things you need to know about your goals is they do need to be SMART tested. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Quickly, I'll share with you what that means is I want to make more money. Well, one penny is more money, right? And if you get one penny when you're 99 years old and you've already closed down the business 50 years ago, well, now you've still made your goal, more money. So you do need to be specific. What does more money look like, sound like, feel like for you? Is it measurable? Well, you would know what your revenue is. So is it measurable? Is it attainable? I want to make $1 million this quarter. I didn't even make 100,000 last year, but I want to make $1 million this quarter. Well, great. I love big, hairy, audacious goals, just like the next person. But I want to know what is it that you're doing differently now that you did compared to last year that is going to make that difference of 999,000, or well, not even 990. I'm not doing my math, but $1 million. So you're at 100,000. So then you want to, what, 110? No, 810,000. There we go, Maria. Boy, getting into the 2024 mindset, right? So, is it attainable? You need to know that. You only know your history. Take a look at that and be true and honest with yourself. Is it relevant? I want 100 likes. Well, I explained to you how somebody made that relevant. They know 100 likes gets them 20 signups on their contact form. Now it's relevant. 100 likes just to have those or so many followers is vanity metrics. So a lot of people get fooled with that, and that's how you go out of business fast because you're looking at the wrong numbers. And then time bound, because we all run out of money eventually, right? So that does happen. So time bound, is it next quarter, in 2024, in 3 years, in 5 years? Which one is it? So in this instance, for example, their business goals were they wanted to go with a city themed design, they wanted to focus on social in 3 cities, and they wanted to monitor that progress. So as we look for our example here, this person, Eva, she did do SMART goals, and she did find out that the 3 cities were very different. She looked to see how much revenue she was getting from each of the 3 cities, and she decided to keep marketing focused just on 2 of the cities because they were profitable. And that's the big thing in what we do. We need to be able to make those hard decisions to say we cannot serve everybody, anybody, and somebody. Even though we may physically can or even digitally can, monetarily, is it worth our time and effort and money to do that? So who can we serve that we get the most bang for our buck and we get the better return? Everybody else is gravy, but we do not want to miss that target customer that can give us the most pleasure and profit. So as we look here, are we doing the right thing and are we measuring who we're doing business with? So look at your goals now for 2024. I know we've already been a few days in, and as we look a few days in, we know that some people already have set their goals, right? But have you made them specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely? Because this is key. If they don't pass the all pieces of the 5 SMART tests, then you could really be off your trajectory. And that trajectory could mean the difference between making money or not making money this year. So take a look at that. Are you SMART testing all of your goals? So your goals could be sales, leads. So what are those goals? And when you look at 2023, what were those goals and did you hit those? Okay, so as we look here, Google Analytics, this is what it looks like when you're looking at Google Analytics. And I'm going to show you a live demo of this in a moment. But it really does help you understand what your website visitors are actually doing. And it gives you an opportunity to learn from them. Because in order for us to serve our customers, we need to be experts at our customers. We can't tell them what they need to do or what they should do. We don't want to should on anybody. We want to look and understand what is it that you need to be able to help make a decision to do business with us, no matter what that business is. Remember what I said, nonprofits, it could be that you're pumping up your volunteer list. So you can understand exactly what content's working. Do you need to be on every social? There's so many out there. And who has enough time? Do you need to put every piece of content out there, or are they more interested in video or short form video? You actually would see these from your numbers, and it would help you create more content that is relevant to them. It would also give you a chance, as I said, to evaluate those channels. Is Amazon giving everything that you need? or maybe you need to change. Maybe you love Pinterest, but your market doesn't love Pinterest, so it's not the best place for you to be. Or it could be that you hate Pinterest. So I'm not a Pinterest person, but a lot of e-commerce shops that I work with actually utilize Pinterest quite a bit. It's a good driver for e-commerce, depending on the kind of product that you have, and a really good driver for people who have a store on Amazon Marketplace. So when you set up Google Analytics for the first time, you'll go to g.co/analytics. And if you are logged into your Google account, you're all set. All you need to do is hit that sign into analytics. So it's to the left of the blue button there, that's all the way to the right, towards like a third of the way from the top. If you'll sign into analytics and you're already signed into your free Google account or your Gmail account, you're golden. It will let you in and it will recognize your credentials. And now you can start going around and understanding your account. So as you log in, you'll see that all Google tools, the navigation happens on the left-hand side. That's how you can get around. So you'll see 4 icons there: Home, Reports, Explore, and Advertising. And those each, when they're clicked on, open up to several other things that you can do on Google Analytics. You can go to Reports and you can customize these, which is really nice because that is why you need to know your goals. You might want to save your time because there's lots of great information in there. But remember what I said at the beginning about things that you need to know and those that are neat to know. So those are you need to know and those that are neat to know. Now you can set up those reports and you don't have to worry about being distracted by that neat information, and you can focus on the information that is getting you closer to your goal or lifting the bottom line. So you can select those date ranges. You'll see that in that button all the way to the right. Then let's go to the middle of the screen. You'll see filters. You can filter out different things and you can add comparisons. So what would you want to filter out? Let's say that I wanted to know, is most of my business in Nebraska? Now I can go through my customer list and look at that. But when you start really building up your business and you have, let's say, 1,000 customers a day, that might be hard to do, right? You may have to now take all your customer list and put it into Google Bard, which is Google's AI, or ChatGPT to do that. Well, what's nice is you can do that quickly for free here in the report. So you can just choose the date range and choose the filters. I want to filter out everybody from Nebraska, or everybody from Kearney, or everybody from Lincoln. Or maybe I want to know who all's in Texas because I don't want to know who's in Nebraska. I know my business is there, but outside of Nebraska, where else could my customers be? And where do I need to spend my dollars? Even though I could serve the entire United States, I don't want to miss that best customer. That was the case in point with a business that I was working with. He actually has a dog product, and so he could actually serve anybody who has a dog, right? Which is millions upon millions of people here in the United States and across the world. But he knew that his best customers, actually, when he started looking at his Google Analytics, were people that were the ages between 35 and 54 years old, women who were professionals, usually had 2 or 3 children, college educated. And when they went online, when he looked at Google Analytics, he was able to see what time they shop online and were mostly coming to his site, and it was 2:20 in the morning. And because of that, even his scheduled Facebook posts, Meta, and Instagram, anything that he's doing, he actually does not post till about 2 o'clock in the morning, because he's not that he couldn't serve anybody, everybody, and somebody, but he doesn't want his message diluted and missed by the best potential customer. Everybody else is gravy, but let's not miss the heart of the business. And you want to get the better hit there. So that's what he does. And he's actually grown his business. So it was back, oh my gosh, we started, if you guys were at Marketech and heard me from the front of the room, I explained we started together, $300,000 he was making in his garage. And now he's international, and he's actually at he finished this year at 6.6 on trajectory for 8.1 million, which I'm really excited about to see it grow in e-commerce. So you can also add comparison. Maybe you want to know, do I need to spend more time on Facebook Meta? So that's Instagram, Threads, Facebook, or do I need to really spend time on TikTok? Because when I compare it, really TikTok's the one bringing home the bacon. All right. So that's what we're looking at when we're comparing. In real time, why you would like to look at real time, what's happening. is because you might have, let's say, just launched a post that you did, or maybe a TikTok video, or maybe you sent out an email and you want to know if it's actually moving the needle. You can watch what's happening on your site in real time and you can see that go out. So as you release your newsletter or your email, you can see if you release it out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then all of a sudden, is there a spike in your business at 3 o'clock in the morning? If you post a video to YouTube with there being a call to action and a click through to you to come to your site, because YouTube is also a Google product. So we have tracking that is bringing in everything from YouTube. So you can see if people are coming in from that. And is that a good place for you to be? But you can see in real time exactly what's happening. Or, maybe you're doing a local newscast and you're talking about it. So local news is featuring you. And you want to know when that newscast comes out at 6 o'clock in the evening, is it lifting the bottom line? Should you spend a lot of effort on press releases and a lot of time and energy because it may be something you don't need to do? This is where I see a lot of people, again, lose a lot of money because they do not measure their revenue streams. So they try to lift everything simultaneously, and that is a recipe actually for disaster because we run out of cash faster in a business, in a small business, than anything else. Cash flow is king. So it's important for us to have profits to be able to pull back into and grow our business with. And in order to do that, we need to lean into and spend most of our time and energy and money into the things that are most profitable, getting us the best return on investment. Once we do that, we can start exploring other things that still may reach our customer, but they may not do that in the best way. So where are your customers coming from? This is important. So if we look at the big box there to the right on your screen, you'll see direct. That means that they actually put in your business name. If you have most of your business coming from direct, that means you are doing a fabulous job with branding. You have brand awareness. People know your business name. Now, organic is different because organic means they search for something. So for Jordan, they might be searching for meat and butcher shop online. It doesn't necessarily mean they're looking for your business, which means you may need to work on brand awareness. But when you see direct, that means they actually put abccompany.com, the name of your business, in, and that means you've done good with brand awareness. Cross network means that it's being showcased somewhere else. So it could be that it's somebody, put it, let's say you have it on YouTube, or let me see, some cross networks in Google. It could be on a Google site. It could be that you're also showcasing it within Blogger, which is a Google tool. Maybe it was a referral, somebody put it on their site. Paid search, so those are ads. Somebody clicked through in an ad to get to you. Organic search, remember what I said, they're not looking for yourcompany.com. They're looking at meat markets, or they're looking at, let me see, Udare Foods, so hot salsas and sauces. Okay, so they're looking at that, Shelly, but they're not specifically looking at your company, which means you may need to still do some work on brand awareness. So you want to look at that. Did they look at the video? So do you know that they like to read text before they make decisions? Or read testimonials, or would they rather see a video? That way you can serve up to them what they need when they need it, and they really feel like you understand them, you get them. So engagement is another thing. You may know this as bounce rate. People used to look at bounce rate, which was back in the day before July 2023, when everything changed over to Google Analytics 4. And that's because Universal Analytics has been there since Google started in 1994. So as we look at it now, Google Analytics 4 actually realizes we have more than one device, right? So look at me, I got two phones. So I might start the day where I'm dropping off kiddos and I'm on my phone. So I'm looking at things on my phone, and then I get somewhere like a shop or a meeting and I throw it over to my laptop. And then I might get back here to my desk and throw it to my desktop. And then later in the evening when I get home, I'm going to throw it over to my smart TV. So I have different devices, but it's still me. So bounce rate used to be if I would throw it from my phone over to my laptop, that would be considered I bounced from the site. I left the site, which means I didn't do any action. I left. That's what bounce rate means. And it means that we're not delivering anything of interest or importance, or there's a disconnect between what they saw over here that got them to your website. And so they don't feel like it really has anything to pertain or interest to them, and they will leave. Now, what engagement rate is it means that we're not measuring when they bounce from your mobile to your laptop or your tablet or iPad. We are keeping track of them all the way through. And in fact, you will get that information to know, oh, they went from here to laptop. So now you have an idea and a better understanding of your customers. And it is all of our job to be able to do the heavy lifting. So you as a business owner, it's your job to really know and understand and be an expert on your customer and what they need. So that's what we mean. Let's go back here to that second item, stickiness. How long do they look at your site? Because how long they look at your site gives an indication of how well you're meeting the information that they need. If they leave your site right away, then that means, oh, this is not really for me. It doesn't resonate with me. They don't know me, and they're less likely to do business with you when they do that. For example, when people are on Amazon, oh, they stay on Amazon 17 solid minutes because they are very purposeful when they're looking for things on Amazon. So you want to do the same for your website. The longer they stay with you, just like if you were an actual physical store, the longer they shop and look around, the more opportunity there is that they're going to buy from you because they do have an interest and they're going through the decision-making process in their mind. So monetization lets you know what people are buying. This is definitely e-commerce based. So for those of you, Shelly, Jordan, who revealed that you're e-commerce, this is where you want to spend some time, is monetization. And when you look at the handouts and the documents that I gave you within that Google Drive that you can download, you'll actually see there's a sheet in there where you have a monetization report, and you can just click on that and find out a little bit more how to set that up, giving value, like how much is your average order value, how much is your checkout rate. If you guys utilize any tools that are content management systems, that's so a content management system, which is CMS for short, is something like Shopify or Wix, then you actually can connect that with analytics right away, and it will know what your average order value is because it does communicate with Shopify very well. You can also find out if you have loyal customers, if they're coming back. So in this instance, let's say we're looking and you look at the very there to the right of the center, you'll see new users, 52,000 came to their site during this time period. They're looking at a specific time period. And then return users were 42,000. That means that the majority of people coming to their site are new users, which means they don't want to use language like, oh, that now that you're on your fourth item or subscribe because you're going to need to replace this and it's consumable, this gets old or this needs to, this is discolored. People who are new to your site are not going to understand that language, so they're not going to feel like this is for them. We want to make sure that anytime we put any content out on our sites, that people are looking at it and going, oh my gosh, they get me, because we're more likely to do business with somebody, any business or brand or product that gets us, right? Tech helps us keep up with the audience, really know what they're using. Just like I was talking about in the scenario, you'll see at the very center there how many people use Android, web, and iOS. And this is important because 84% of people are coming through a mobile device now. In fact, many websites do not even build a desktop version. They only build for a mobile version. You'll start seeing that as you go to sites on desktop and it says not available here, but only on a mobile version, because they have limited time, energy, and money, and they want to put it where they get the better hit, which is on mobile. So you might experience that too, because as I said, that's a national average. 84% of us are going through mobile first when we want to know, go, do, or buy. Now, one tool that you may not know of for those of you who do utilize analytics, take a look at the search box, because now we are leaning into Google's AI. You may have heard a lot about artificial intelligence. Well, we actually have it in Google Analytics 4. So the search box, which is right here seen almost off center here to the right, and it says Analytics Intelligence. So that is our AI at work. When you type in what you're looking for, like I want to know the age of the people coming to my site, or I want to know what time they come to my site, you can now just type it here and it'll bring up what you need, and it'll let you know what you recently looked at and maybe other questions that you are thinking about that you haven't asked Google Analytics yet. So instead of you having to customize report after report, you can now go in here and just search it, just like you would a Google search. So that is meant for productivity and ease, to make it easy for you to get to your information and to be able to focus on making better business decisions. And of course, taking care of your customers, right? Because we got to have time to do that. So you can find out more by going to this URL at the bottom left, but really just play with it, experiment with it when you're in there, and try typing out different things within Analytics Intelligence. So let me bring up, excuse me, I didn't mean to cough in your ear. Let's go. I'm going to go to a live demo. but I just want to make sure it's big enough before I do that. Okay, it is. All right. So at this live, oh, see, it even looks smaller. There we go. So in this live demo, remember what I said, everything's on the left. So you see these icons here to the left as you hover over, see how it opens up, and you can click on each. And now you can take a look here to actually see, what's happening on your site. So it could be, let's click on reports, and we want to see what's happening right now in real time. So we're going to click on real time, just like it says, it's real time. So we can see, wow, there are 89 people who have come on our site in the last 30 minutes. And we can see who's on there right now and where they came from. So we can see everybody who's there. We can hover over, at least in the last 30 minutes, where they came from. And then we can see, what did they look at? Where is it they went? What did they like to see on your site? And did they stay on your site? Did they click off to a competitor, or did they click off to your socials to get a little bit more social credibility that you know what you're talking about? So they could be doing that. So you can take a look at all that here. But what's nice is you can go in here and let's say, what platforms are used the most? And all you need to do is just click here. So I went to that search bar and it says here to the right, those insights, the platforms that are used the most are Android. So Android's what they're built for. If I'm developing an app for my business, or if I want to make sure everything looks good on mobile, I'm going to build and lean into Android just because that's where I want to show up. Now, do know that iOS does a lot of blocking as far as privacy wise, but all of these do have some tracking ability. So you're getting the most and the clearest information that you possibly can. Now for e-commerce, you might want to use an even stronger tool to do that, where you're utilizing another pixel, and those are usually paid. But this is all free through your Google Analytics. You can also take a look here and see what are the top countries by revenue. Maybe you're making a decision on where you want to send the most inventory. So here in this instance, it's Canada. There's better revenue in Canada, but let me make sure, let's see, so that's the insights here. I want to take a look at acquisition. Where did customers, so acquisitions, where are they coming from, right? So I'm going to look at our new users and they're coming from direct. Oh, I've done a great job branding our business then. So that's all good. But I can also look further into here, into the report. So that's a snapshot. And let's say I want to look for last calendar year. And I just want to apply that. All right, so this gives me an idea. Wow, our branding's working really well. So I can view user acquisition, and it'll take a moment here to populate because I am broadcasting. So that does take some time to bring that in. But it will bring in the data here of where our users come from. And you'll see CPC means cost per click. Let me make that bigger, guys. Sorry, I know I'm broadcasting here and sometimes it can be super tiny. Okay, CPC is cost per click. Organic means they're searching for the industry, but doesn't mean necessarily for us. Referral, somebody put you on their website, they referred you, they put you in an email link. Invite a friend campaign. So this was us doing an email. It's a dynamic link, which if you're not, how many of you are using UTMs, unique tracking metrics? Let me know if you're using UTMs, because when you do get a copy of the recording, so you'll get a copy of the recording this afternoon, but I also will put in there a document for you on how to track links so you can see this dynamic link. What a UTM is so what a UTM, perfect, Shelly, thank you for letting me know you had a question about it. So UTM is a unique tracking metric. It's a way for us to take, let's say if you are on your hot salt, the hottest salsa that you have. So it's the most hot salsa. And you want to know how many people are coming to that actual page now, and where they're coming from. Or let's say you want to know, you've got the hot salsa link and you want to know how many people and what social platform they're coming from. So on Facebook, let's say on your Facebook business page, or maybe you have a Facebook group, it's all everybody who loves hot stuff and it's your Facebook group. And you put a link there to that hot salsa page. Well, the link, if you just put abccompany.com, you're not going to know where it came from. But if we make a dynamic link, which means we copy and paste that site. So let's say we copy and paste that URL. I'm gonna, let's see. I'm going to go here to this site just because it was at the top of my head. So let's say we go here to these products, and let's say we want to know how many are buying this product from Facebook. Now I can copy and paste this one, and then I can put it in and known as a UTM. So I put it into an actual site that I put and ask for it to create a UTM. So it's going to be a unique tracking metric. It'll say, where are you putting this link? I can say Facebook group. Are you going to have this link live for a long period of time? I'm going to have it live forever. It's going to be evergreen. Now it will come up with a unique link for me, and I can just then copy and paste and put that into Facebook. And anytime people are there, then I'll see that. So what that means to you and to me is that now I can see whether or not they use that dynamic link. So I know for sure whether or not they're using Facebook. So that's what a UTM is. And I have a whole document and a video that explains that you'll have available to you after the session today. So take a look at that, because that will make it easier for you to find the information. Google Analytics can find a lot of it, but I like to look and delve deeper and make it easier wherever I can. All right, so these are different things that brought in the business. So remember, we're in acquisition, but now I'm going to add in what's known as a filter. So I'm going to go here, and I want to know exactly where they came from. So I'm going to go to traffic source, and I'm going to go to the medium. So now it's going to bring in, so what the medium means is it's letting me know exactly what was used. So now I see the first medium and session medium, but maybe let's say I want to know where they came from. Geography. So what city? Now I know that this cost per click from Dhaka did really, really well. This cost per click from Lahore, I might be pronouncing these all wrong, but they did really well. And I can now start honing in my ads. I don't want them to show at these other places, or I do. Maybe I do, because they're coming in here and I look and I see, oh my gosh, this one's doing really, really good. Maybe I need to put more ad spend in there. Now I can make good business decisions with my analytics, okay? All right, let's go back to the presentation and come off of that. So you can go into that search bar and ask questions. You can also look at insights and start seeing some recommendations. And I encourage you to lean into that, because Google is actually pulling from your industry and the history that it has in data since 1994 for the industry. It is not going to be as specific as you are about your business. You are very unique in your business. So you know all the uniqueness and maybe some of the nuances, but Google can tell you overall for the industry. So at least you have a guidepost to get started. You can even start doing more exploration to find out, how do people actually search your site? Do they go from the home page first, and then they want to read the about us? They want to know that you're from Nebraska, and they want to know that you're credible. Maybe they read your reviews and testimonials, and then maybe they take a good look and see whether or not you're keeping your site up to date. So they, is this a new business? Are they updating their video or updating their blog content? They want to know. Now, one of the things you can do, and Google Ads is a paid tool as far as you can use it for free, but you've got to pay it when you actually put ads out. But you can connect it with Google Analytics. And why you would want to do that? First, what happens is good search engine optimization. When you connect one Google tool with another, it actually is a signal to Google's algorithm that you are a real business, because now the information on Google Analytics and the information within Google Ads is one and the same. So that's confirming, making the search engine feel more confident. When the search engine's more confident in you, it's showing you higher in search. Now, when you attach your Google Analytics, so you've got Google Ads, now your YouTube channel, now you put in your Google Business Profile, you put in your Google Merchant Center, your Google Search Console, all of these tools that Google does trust and believe in, because it's their tools. So now they're seeing that confirmation that lists you higher. So that's expert level SEO, but it's for free for you. So you can show up higher in search, because if you're not there before people scroll, so if you're not in the first page, so if you're not above that first scroll, then you have less likely chance to actually earn their business. So you want to be there, because people who are great at what they do, which is who we want to do business with, are above the search scroll. So when you link the product, you're actually going to use this at the very bottom. See that gear at the very, very bottom of that top top graphic, it's a gear to the left. You'll click on there, and that is how you can update your settings, and you'll actually see the chance to connect with Google Ads. And it's pretty intuitive. You just need to walk through, and it'll walk you completely through what you need to do next, okay? So some of the things that if you don't have Google Analytics to really start off 2024 right, set that up. And now know that you're not going to be able to see any historical data. So once you connect Google Analytics 4, this is different from old analytics before July. Before July 1st, you could connect with old analytics, which was known as universal analytics, and it will look at your entire history from whenever you started your website. So whatever website you're connecting with, it would look at that. But Google Analytics 4 will only look at the data from the date you connect it. So you do need to connect it. Let's start off 2024 right and connect it. And then you also need to set your goals. What is it that you want your website to do? What is it that you're going to measure? Because remember, if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. So what is it that's really contributing to your bottom line and getting you closer to absolutely getting those goals? Now, learn what's most valuable to your business. Where is that coming from? Because a lot of times we as business owners make gut decisions, but what's got us here may not get us to the next level we need to do in 2024. So we need to look at those numbers, because knowing our numbers means that we actually know and understand our best customers and what they find valuable. And then we can measure those results and set new goals. Now we can adjust and make some really good business decisions. So some of the things you might want to look at, some of the key metrics are how long did people stay on your site? What's the average view duration? How many seconds did they say, or how many minutes? How many people subscribe to your newsletter, or maybe subscribe to the pop-up on your site, or maybe subscribe to get news and updates, especially if you're using a CMS, a content management system. They may already have that built in when you're checking out. They actually are asking that question: would you like to get news and updates and marketing details from us, or would you like us to send the shipping tracking and information and know what's happening with your shipment? That's usually all embedded in also marketing. You can find out exactly what people are doing, how many liked or disliked something, maybe a blog post on your site. You can actually see by day. So maybe you need to know exactly when you need to have everybody on board, because maybe people are shopping more on let's say Monday than on Tuesday. So that's the day you have to have everybody on board, because you want to be able to package and ship it out if you're in e-commerce. Okay. Or you might want to look at maybe your ads. You want to know how many impressions you get, which is okay, but um, cost per thousand. How many, when I get in front of 1,000 people, how much does that cost me? How much do I spend to get that? And I'm getting people to click through. So the click-through rate is 0.81%. All right, so that could be good, but it depends. A lot of businesses I work with, they want when they send something out, like an ad or an email, they want at least 15% click-through rate, because they take really good care of their email list. So they're not just sending email out to anybody. These are truly people who want to be on their list, who are waiting and expecting that information. So they're getting good click-through, and the cost per click is $2.48. So that means that you're spending $2.48 every time somebody clicks on that. You might want to measure that, because maybe you only want to spend about 3 cents per click. That is where I try to keep ours at, 3 to 7 cents. But some people are comfortable with $15 per click. Now they might have a $2,000 or $3,000 item that somebody's buying, so the $15 or $20 per click is still making good business sense for them. For a product that's $35, a $15 or $20 click is not enough, because even though it might still be that you have a little bit wiggle room in there, there's still the cost of delivering, the cost of actually getting it and manufacturing it, or bringing it in and warehousing it. There's all sorts of costs that are much more than ad spend. All right. Oops. All right, so if you want to ask me any questions, you can ask me them right here in the chat. Feel free to ask me any questions here. But if you want to ask me questions afterwards, we do have a membership, and I do help people there with walkthroughs and things and questions that you might want to have more of. The good thing with you guys is that you have Grow Nebraska there for you. So Grow Nebraska truly is there for you. They're the boots on the ground, and they are experienced, so they can support you, and I would reach out to them first. Plus, I'm a big believer believer in local business. I'm in the base of the panhandle of Texas, but very rural. So I do understand rural America very much. Grew up and lived in rural America for most of my life, even though I'm an Air Force brat and I've lived so many places. But do understand that you have them available. But if you would like to connect with me, this is the best way to do that. So you can use that URL or that QR code to do that, so we can stay connected if you have any specific questions. I do want to show you something before we finish off and do get and take more Q&A. Let me show you what this looks like when people, you can utilize what's known as Looker Studio. So what Looker Studio, oh, I brought up the wrong one here. What Looker Studio Data Studio is, it is a free Google tool also. Let me show you what this looks like. I'm just making it bigger and bringing it up so you don't have to look at it. Look at me typing. Okay. Okay, so this is Looker Data Studio. Bringing, oops, it goes zoom in and then bring you in. This is Looker Data Studio, and it is 100% free when you have any, free Google, free Gmail accounts. You can see here that you can also look into Looker Data Studio and actually have everything put together so you're not distracted by the other shiny objects in there, right? The other neat to know information. So example, for this website, this is an e-commerce site. So they actually have it set up this way. It's 100% free. You could do this. Again, you can do this with just Google Analytics yourself, but they happen to look at this because they've got an entire team that looks across the world at this, and they want to know how many sessions, which is bringing them the most income here. They want to know where people are coming from because they're going across different countries. So they want to know organic traffic, paid traffic for the US, Australia. Where's it coming from? What site content are they looking for? Okay. What is it that resonates with them on their website that people are actually doing and which are actually performing and providing sales? Or when people are searching, they want to know when people are searching and what are they searching for, because maybe they need to bring that to the front of their website since there's such an interest. Or maybe they need to know, oh my gosh, people are looking for hardware screws and they're not finding anything. They're getting a 404. Maybe we need to have an answer to that because they're looking for something. They're looking for replacement grass. They're not spelling it correctly, but maybe we can make sure that's available and found on our site even when they've misspelled something. Okay, so those are different ways that you can do that for yourself and set it up so again that you're not distracted, because some people prefer to do that. They don't want to be distracted. This is how you can connect with me again afterwards, just to even say hi in socials and tag me. Is there any way to get a recording of what we just went through? Yes, Shelly. I'm actually making a recording. I know Nebraska is also making a recording as well, but I've made a recording that I will post actually after this. I've got another meeting after this, and then after that I will post it. So it'll probably be mid to late afternoon around 3 or 4 Central Time that I will post it, and then you will get a link from me, which has all of the handouts that I provided, the UTM, how to set that up. So the UTM walkthrough and video. So it's an actual document and then video, and then you'll also get a copy of this video. So you can slow me down, speed me up as much as you need to, okay? All right, let's see. I've got another question here. As I'm answering this question, if you want to review me, I would love for you to review me. I'm honored when people review. I also like to model for people that this is how you do good business, is when you've given good service or good information, then you ask for a review. Most people won't give you a review unless you ask. So it's good to ask. In fact, most of them forget. We just get busy with life. Okay. So as I'm doing this, I'm going to go here. I'm going to stop the recording